Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to take a look at Tome, the Light Edition. This is a 2 to 4 player game published by Reversal Games. This is a trick-taking game, and I love trick-taking games. This is a team trick-taking game. I love team trick-taking games. This is a trick-taking game with a twist, so that had me. Let's go ahead down on the table. I'll show you how to play this game, and then we'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, so this is Tome, the Light Edition. It comes in this really cool box, has this cool magnetic clasp to it, and it's a really nice box. Looks like a tome, really cool. But each player is going to get 2 scoring cards. So the 2 scoring cards are going to be put together, and these are going to be used to score the game as time goes by. There is another mode to this game. We're just going to go over the standard mode, but know that there's a survival mode, and these survival modes are you use these hearts to track your life. Now, this game is going to go until one team basically gets 15 points, and that 15 points have to be 2 points higher than the other team. This could also be played 2 players, so it would be 2 points higher than a single player. But in a 4-player game, every person's going to get one of these little scoring cards so they can keep track, and the teams will sit across from each other, so you'll never have a teammate going one right after another. To set up the game here, you're going to shuffle all these cards in. Now, in future expansions, you're going to have different cards that you can mix and match and shuffle in here, but for this base game, don't need to worry about it. Just shuffle them all in there, and you're going to make your deck. Now, there are going to be 4 different type of elemental cards here. So let's get them out. So there's 4 different type of elemental cards. And each of these elemental cards goes 1 through 6 and then an F, which is going to be like the trump of that suit, or the highest of that suit. These ones here aren't any suit. They don't break chains, which we're going to get into in a little bit. And they have their own little properties. And these also go 1 through 6 and an F. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take all this, you're going to shuffle them in, and you're going to deal out 6 cards to each player. Normally you do it in a more random manner than this. So each player is going to get 6 cards, and you'll have 6 cards in the middle. All right, so let's start off with, this is a trick-taking game. So if you've never played trick-taking games, this could be a unique sort of concept to you, and you could follow through with this with many other games that are really cool, including this one. So after this is all dealt out, the player who shuffled and dealt out is going to flip the first card, and this is going to be called the title card. So this is going to be trump for the suit. So I'm just going to flip over one on top randomly here. And we're not going to talk about the abilities again. We're just going to try to, or chaining, we're just going to show you how this would resolve. So if we don't consider abilities, if there was only red cards out here, the highest card would win the trick or this round. And that team would get a point. So if there was only reds, which there isn't only reds, but say there's only reds, the highest number would win. So if it was the F, it's the highest, the next is the 6, and then down, and then so forth. So the red isn't the only one in here, and there is going to be red, white, and blue. Blue matches the trump suit, so it would win. No other blues are in here, so it doesn't really matter what number the blue is. It wins, and that player and the teammate get the point. So they would go up 1 point on here. So we just slide this down, and it will show 1 more point. And this will go down to 9. Then you actually flip. Whoops. Then you flip the other card over and you start from 9 to 15. I have the 2 wrong cards here, but that's how that works. And then again, when you hit 15, you win as long as you're 2 ahead of the other team. So that real quick is how a trick-taking game normally works. Now this one has a twist on it. It has chaining and abilities on the cards. So in the same setup, what would end up happening is this red card here would start a chain. So when played, this spell gains 2 power. So this spell here would gain, get this in focus properly, 2 power. So instead of 5, it's at 7. And this one here continues the chain, so it gets a 2. But then it says when a fire spell is played, and if there is more than one fire spell in this chapter, which is, this is the title, this is the chapter, the title spell changes to the fire element. So this gives a +2, and then this now is going to change it to red, and red is now trump. So this card here will no longer be trump, and will probably not be able to win. This white spell doesn't break the chain, so it doesn't break the chain, but it has it's not really an element, but it just has a property that goes with it, and this says this spell is stronger than any non-trump spell. Well, that means this spell is going to be stronger than this one, but not stronger than these because these are now trump. So now we go over here, and blue does not match this red color. So I could have, this player at this point, because they're going to play in turn order, that player could have played a different card, but they played this one. So what will end up happening is you'll break the chain, and when you break the chain, you'll lose your ability. Now the next player that goes, if there was another player and they played a spell, they wouldn't have the same penalty. That technically what that card is called is silencing the card. Now there are cards in this game that can't be silenced. They say it on the card. But just know that this is good to show how that chain works. The white cards don't break the chain. Anything else played would break the chain. And there's multiple reasons you may or may not do that. You don't have the card to do this. Your opponent is winning, so you just want to break the chain. So if there's another player after you, they don't get to benefit from it. So it could have been like this. I broke the chain because this player is winning. I didn't want this player to be able to benefit, and so on. So that is a lot into the strategy of that interaction in the game. You have to be careful with all the cards in here, and this game definitely rewards playing this game over and over again because you get used to these in here. And the replayability on this is really, really high, even without the different expansion pieces that you can get in the future with this game. Now you'll keep going until you get to the end of the 6th chapter. Whoever won this trick or this will be able to flip over the next title, and we'll start with them. Now, as you can see, you get bonuses potentially with these cards that you play. If there's ever a tie for the winner, the person who is closest to the dealer, or the person who started the round, will win. So if there was a tie between these two and this person dealt, this person would win. Sort of like that. So in a really high, quick nutshell, that is exactly how you play Tome, the Light Edition. I will also remind you that there's a really cool survival mode in this game that we're not going over, and there's player references here for how to win and the chain, which I thought they did a really, really good job with, and I really appreciate those player aids. This game here, I think, plays best with the 4 players. It really seems geared to be really good that way. And these cards all have really cool different powers. So we can go over a couple of those right now. So I have Glow. This is, again, a white card. So it only has a property. And this spell is stronger than any non-trump spell. So same with this one. Now there is a F with this one that has a different ability. Or actually, technically the Fs, I'm sorry, they don't have different abilities. They are just the top. But they do count as their stuff. Here's the Storm. This spell cannot be silenced. Remember, we were talking about spells being silenced. So if I played this one, it wouldn't be silenced because it broke the chain. Instead, it would still do its thing. It says, when played, all spells, including the title spell, change to their original element and power. So this would be a really cool one to be like, nah, I'm not changing. I don't want that red. I want it to be back to blue. Whatever. So that's pretty cool. And here, like you see, here's a Flux one, and it doesn't have anything on it, just to the highest of that element. Here's Quench. When the chapter ends, choose one other spell played this chapter and place it into your hand. This card is amazing because you only have those 6 cards, and they dwindle as the rounds go by. If no one gets to 15 points by the end of the 6 rounds, you repeat. So that is basically, like I said, some cooler things in the game. Let's do another unique one here. Fire ones are really cool because they sort of ramp up each other. Purple ones do interesting things for each one, like this here, when played. Find the spell or spells with the highest power for each spell with that power, except this one. The spell changes its power to 1, and this spell gains 2 power. So, and then there's vacuum. So there's a lot of things to think about while you're playing this, and there's a lot of ways that you have to sort of work with your teammate to make sure that one of you wins this trick and thwart whatever your opponents are trying to do. So again, this was a really quick overview, just really quickly how to play this game. Let's go ahead back up the table here, and I'll give you my final thoughts on Tome, the Light Edition. Okay, so I really like Tome Light Edition. I think it's a really cool trick-taking game. I love trick-taking games, and I love ones that have little bits of twist to it that gives that sort of unique element to the game. And this definitely does that with all the little card powers, the chaining, all that stuff is really, really fun in this game. And I think it's amazing. Now, this game can play 2 to 4 players. I think 4 players is the player count for this game. I won't really play it below 4 players. I think that is phenomenal for this game. So I really do like that, and I think that is perfect for this game. I really like how you go to 50 points. I think it's like almost a tennis thing with 15 points or 2 points above. And I think that's a really cool element of this game. I really like racing towards that and the little tension that you get when your opponents gain the tricks and stuff like that. So overall, really like Tome, the Light Edition. I think it's an amazing game. If you like trick-taking games, I would highly recommend checking this out. And that's my thoughts on Tome, the Light Edition. Thank you for watching.